He worked in a very small room which was in a perpetual state of dirt and disorder. He kept the window wide open day and night, winter and summer, and the dust and smuts that entered thereby settled on books, furniture and papers, being scattered over a wider area whenever attempts were made to remove them. The mass of matter on the table was chaotic. Heaps of letters, pages of manuscript, books, envelopes, writing paper, pens, inkstads, journals, butter, sugar, apples, knives, forks, spoons, sometimes a neglected cup of cocoa or a half-finished plate of porridge, a saucepan, and a dozen other things were mixed up indiscriminately and all undusted, as his papers must not be touched. The table, the typewriter, and the wooden-railed chair in which he sat almost filled the room, forcing anyone who entered into it to move sideways like a crab. Occasionally, he would have a general clean-up, a job that took 2 full days' hard work. He enjoyed doing this, as another man might enjoy 2 days digging in a garden, because it rested his mind, tired his back, and begrimed his face and hands. Besides, there were always some forgotten checks to repay such chores. Part of the awesome accumulation was due to his method of dealing with literature. While I'm dressing and undressing, I do all my reading. The book lies open on the table. I never shut it, but put the next book on top of it long before it's finished. After some months, there is a mountain of buried books, all wide open, so that all my library is distinguished by a page with a stain of a quarter's dust or soot on it. But for many years he had practically accustomed himself to a condition that could only be cured by dynamite. I have long resigned myself to dust and dirt and squalor in external matters. If 7 maids with 7 mops swept my den for half a century, they would make no impression on it. My dear creative friend, is this how it looks in your workspace? Is there a certain element, an amount of chaos necessary for an artistic soul to work, to create? Because when we create, we just get lost in that feeling. And while we create, I know sometimes there can be a lot of mess perceived on the outside, but we know exactly what we are doing with each move. At least that is how it is for me. And then when I finish creating, I'm happy to clean it up. So I don't quite get it to this stage like described here. But I'm curious to find out, how do you create? Do share with me, please, in the comments. What is your creative process? And of course, if this little passage has inspired something different than what it inspired me to share, then please share that with me. I would be very curious to hear where your inspiration was sparked and what was created as a consequence. Have a fantastic and creative day, and I will see you tomorrow.